Good morning, welcome. I'm Gary Phillips, Mayor of San Rafael. I want to start today by updating last week's presentation. First, with the county. The county does have an order that pertains to all of us, and it pertains also to the quarantine. The county has issued a quarantine of an isolation order that requires anyone that has been diagnosed with COVID-19 to isolate themselves. This is highly important to protect us against the spread of this virus, as you probably know at this point in time. Let me talk a little bit about the city services. We continue to provide city services across the board, certainly including police and fire. We certainly have been impacted, but these areas are highest priority for us. And we have closed in-person counter services from our facilities, but you can certainly email us with questions that you have, and our city staff is working remotely to address those questions that you might present. So we'll try to address them in that way. We touch on what we're doing with regard to the small businesses in San Rafael in connection with the San Rafael Chamber of Commerce and in the county directly involving Damon Connolly as our supervisor. We've actually accomplished quite a bit. We now have and should be online, this is Friday the 10th, should be online early next week. That is the application for funds that we've accumulated this far, and we are going to be talking with others about further donations to this fund that is being overseen by the San Rafael Chamber of Commerce Foundation. So we really appreciate contributions that we can then pass on through a mechanism with the foundation to our many needy businesses. We're going to start with $5,000. Not a huge amount, but hopefully a bridge to some of the federal funds that you've heard about and presumably be applying for if it applies to you. With regard to the San Rafael Small Business Relief Fund, we're looking at smaller businesses in San Rafael, those with sales of less than $1 million in San Rafael, with 25 or fewer employees. Have had a reduction in sales of about 40%. Those that are directly impacted by this coronavirus, and we certainly hope that you'll apply for those, and we'll have a committee, independent committee, make those decisions. So we're making good progress with regard to that fund. Our school districts we didn't touch on last week, but just to touch a little bit on the school districts, as many of you know, particularly if you're parents with school-age children, they are going to remain closed through the duration of the school year. They are making arrangements for homeschooling, assisting in various ways. You obviously need to check with the district themselves, see what they can provide and assist you with homeschooling. I know it's a challenge. I'm fortunate to have a daughter who's a second grade teacher with two children, 7 and 5, and they're making good progress, but it's a challenge for all of us, I know. So best of luck. Last week I asked for questions, and fortunately, and thank you again for many that did provide a number of questions that we have, and we have picked a few to touch on this morning, and I'll follow up next week as well with additional questions that you've provided. But let's start with the first one. It's a good one, I think. It is, what should we have on hand if someone in our family is asked to isolate at home with coronavirus? What medicines might be needed? What cleaning supplies? What in general are the instructions for caring for yourself and loved ones? Good question that we're all a little bit concerned about, I suspect, if that were to fall upon us. First thing, the County of Marin has actually done an excellent job of providing some guidelines, and in addition to those provided by the city to address this specific issue. So you might go on our website or the county's website, which will be presented below, for further information beyond this quick summary. If someone is diagnosed and must isolate themselves from members of the household, and other members of the household must be self-quarantined at home and not leave for 14 days, 2 weeks, which is a long time, I know. Medical recommendations should be provided by your healthcare provider. I think that goes without saying, but I've got a couple of comments of the general nature. Make sure you have adequate supplies on hand. You'll need them anyway, but make sure you have them on hand throughout so that you're not finding yourselves without the needed medication that has been prescribed to you. So again, just a checkpoint. Next question, who do I talk to for rent assistance? You might know, if not, certainly the county can provide the details, but they've provided an emergency rental assistance program for those that particularly are at risk of homelessness and need rental assistance. So I would suggest that you contact the county. They oversee this issue directly, whereas we don't. But certainly they have websites and direct contact persons that you might be able to reach. Also, the federal government's getting involved. The Housing First website that will be presented to you below is also another point of access for you to consider. Let's go on to the next question. Is there anything that could be done to have landlords of small businesses reduce their rents? Again, the Board of Supervisors, this is their area. The Board of Supervisors in Marin County adopted a ban on residential and commercial evictions. So if you're faced with that unfortunate situation, certainly check with the county. There'll be a reference here in a moment. And that will prevent residents, business owners from being evicted because of the sudden loss of income tied to COVID-19. That will last until May 31st of 2020. They may extend that, speculating, but that's certainly in place until that date, May 31st. And it does apply to all residential and commercial tenants within San Rafael, as well as the unincorporated areas. So if you're within San Rafael or even points beyond, the county might be of assistance to you in this regard. The next one, if I leave my house, do I need to wear something over my face? It's a good question because I've received a number of inquiries about the concerned people visiting shopping or whereabouts. They are concerned because some people are not wearing masks, and it does seem advisable. Certainly we recommend it for the common sense reason that it'll spread, less likely to spread if an individual is wearing a mask, and if you get close to that person and they cough or sneeze or what have you, you're more in jeopardy. So we are encouraging the masks. Also, if you're so inclined, and if you are able to make cloth coverings and donate them to some of our individuals, particularly the homeless that we have, it would be greatly appreciated. And you can do so at the downtown library, Pickleweed Library, or the Terra Linda Community Center. So if you make some masks, that'd be wonderful. And please drop them off at those locations and help those that might be in need. So I certainly want to thank everyone for the effort that you put in. The city's been just outstanding, I would suggest, in complying with the necessary rulings under these circumstances that we're all subjected to. So my hat's off to the entire community for all you've done. And certainly my thoughts are with you with regard to putting up with this. It's nothing like I've encountered, and I suspect any of us have encountered, and the impact on our daily lives. So I hope you're safe, I hope you're well, and continue to do so. So I thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. Once again, I'll solicit the questions that you have, and I'll try to address those next Friday. And thank you very much for watching and participating in our efforts. Thank you, and have a good day.